Elsie's getting right fed up with this rain. She's not been able to run around the back garden. She's not been able to play with her glove, and I'm surprised she's that calm, to be honest, at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story about two. Here we go. Two towns in Italy. I'm going to call them Anzio and Portico. Now, I know it's nothing unusual, two towns, but these two towns hated each other. They didn't really get on very well at all. And they were always competing to see who could get the most visitors every year. One town would have a big music festival. The next thing you knew, the other one would have one even bigger with fireworks and a fairground. Whatever one did, the other one had to do better. This went on for years and years and years, okay, until eventually the mayor of Portugal had the idea of building an impressive tower that visitors would climb up. And they were going to build it in the centre of town. So it was so impressive there and it would attract people from all over the country. So they set about building it. They built big screens around it so they could keep it secret from Anzio, the other place. It took 2 whole years to build. And every month the tower got higher and higher, and so did those screens getting higher and higher up the sides. After that 2 years, when they finally revealed the tower, sure enough, people from all over the country came to see the great tower. They would walk up the spirals, the great spiral to the very top, and there they would take in the breathtaking view that had simply never been seen before. When the mayor of Anzio found out about the tower and how Portico now got far more visitors than they ever did, everybody wanted to go and see the tower. Everybody wanted to see the view from the very top. Nobody was interested in Anzio. So without hesitation, he declared that Anzio should start to build their own tower right away, but taller and fancier, with 2 spirals instead of one going up and one coming down. It would be incredible. So the building started within weeks and took a good 2 years. But eventually, both towns had very impressive towers in the middle. And people would call Anzio on their way to Portico to see the first tower. The mayor of Anzio was well pleased. There was, however, a problem with the tower in Portico. It started to sink, but only on one side, so slowly, very slowly, hardly noticeable at first. It started to lean to one side. When the people of Portico finally noticed the tower leaning, they became very worried. What will we do if the tower falls? We'll lose all the visitors and all the money they spend here as well. After a month or so, it was obvious the tower was leaning quite considerably and something needed to be done. But nobody knew what, until one day a little girl happened to be looking at the tower. She was walking round it, and every now and again she would stop and lean against it with her hand. As she did, she would feel the tower shift and shiver. When she took her hand away, it stopped. When she put her hand back, she could feel the tower shiver and shake again. After she had done this several times, she eventually realised that the tower was ticklish. She rushed off and collected some tall flowers and bushes and planted them all around the base of the tower. And from then on, every time the tower began to lean, it got tickled by the bushes, so it never went over any further. Also, the fact that the tower now leant actually meant that everybody wanted to see the Leaning Tower, and nobody bothered going to see the tower in Anzio again. Over time, Anzio's tower fell into disrepair and crumbled to the ground. Now, I changed the names of the town to protect their identities. But you know, the tower still stands today and gets thousands and thousands and thousands of visitors every year. In the video we saw, the paralyzed man had just been healed by Jesus. His whole world had changed from being helpless and without hope, lying by the side of a pool, to being able to take control over his life. He had just been miraculously healed by Jesus. The Jewish leaders weren't happy for him. Instead, they tried to squash his joy and stop his excitement at how his life had changed. In the story, the town of Anzio was jealous of Portico's success and wanted to take it away from him, just like those Jewish leaders. On social media today, it's crazy how many people put pictures up beautified by an app. I've seen people on social media who put their pictures up all the time, but I've got no idea what they look like, as they are always enhanced. People end up being envious of somebody else's looks or somebody else's life that just isn't real. If we spend our lives being jealous and envious of the success of others rather than celebrating with them and being happy for them, well, we end up feeling bitter and twisted inside. We end up doing things that we know just aren't right. So don't let envy rule how you react to the success or achievements of others. Be happy for them and celebrate them with them and feel that difference inside.